The Nation Speaks, the Roundtable Listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics, culture. Nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen. Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most, live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society, politics,
and the price of rice then. So you can in no way compare kind of price being dropped with right price. Do I need to have a candle in my house for I can be fed? No. But no room now in this country, right, that will survive in the absence of rice. Okay. So that analysis for you to have people who will come back and say, oh yeah, you have former president did the same with the other commodity, but are those commodities, if you are to know the uses and the effect on this citizen, you cannot equally compare them.
What could you say to President Buhari with all of these measures put in place? What could you say to the president?
Yeah, and what we need is to see that because we don't want it to be done just for a short period of time, right? And this should be a long time, in fact, a lifetime project, right? And so like I also understood where then he is bringing the idea of his government seeing the need as to how you can have farmers in Labrador investing in rice. These are good things, right? These are a good thing that I would need to hear. So having the rice price drop to 2,800, we embrace that, but we say we would like for that to not just be for a while.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, your thoughts with us, and it's a great pleasure being here.
So thank you, Bill, and thank you to your colleagues who have been there and making sure that your live. I know what is a live.
It's a live
program, and thank you there for the interview. And we hope that we still to talk. It is our pleasure to talk this thing that other people might know that, and we are not just discussing only politics, right? We should be able to be truthful when we talk this thing. In my interview here, and certainly I can tell you that I've been truthful, and like I think viewers out there would know exactly that what I've said definitely made a sense to them.
Thank you so much, Josh.
To the shop, and I'm there. Why should they go home and I'm in the no one to go essay? So what's your opinion? That was now, I need to get to the place. But I will call you back later. Come back. I will get back 10 minutes and go home. I said, she can't even know. I said, but then myself coming. Saying not there, I told you, I've got to get it. I know I'm going to speak after most of So, the window election. One guy was on that. The few answers was looking at it. I think the asked, is there coming now? He said, no, who is here? So I said, what going on? Okay, send the letters and then to the police station. They informed the police. The essentially that they have not seen it. I seen it. So she said, let me expect you. What I'm going to do about the station is perfect. So what happened? I was coming a little back. One day I was coming, passed by me. And so I recognized her woman. I said, yes, she won't go in there. So let's go back to the bus. I know she went to the bus. Let's go back. I found her. So while going, what about that coming back? So I stopped him. I said, yeah. I said, I saw a chap behind me. He said, yeah. I said, he's walking, so I told him, come get to I saw him put it over. He said, I thought it was what I was flat top of it. It was so. You know, I still really good. So, you know, the I have to get into it. I think it's a big, yeah. That's it's a lot of so what happened? I left after work and now the rest was in one step. And my brother has a pass away. It's a good, it's not that it's I say it's a good thing, really the company, really to my head, and because of you. It's a good thing. So what can you do? You tell the day, is a Bakatil with you. I said, we want to go out. They want to talk. You don't believe it. So she started crying, telling her, we have drama. We have a lot of support and she woke up. She said, what happened? What is not so she said that the power would be work. The power would be work. So she said, come to me. She said, the one is that would be work.
This time.
I want to post me. So I want to post me. I need to two my back. One back and so two. So one of them can say any office. So what's the you miss the person. It doesn't mean that it doesn't. Instead of minister, I see it is it one of the things are there? What would be in the council? Get from the level. And then check it. So what can some of the things we do and I say, you can just do it yourself. Police are many people can do it. Now go to the police station. Like another thing. To be at the way. Put that in place. They say, oh, we're going to put over that tomorrow is coming. Do you understand? We will not go to work. On Monday, people will start work. So Monday, you find out the document, then you carry it. And once you go, you finish this up until Monday. She must touch what you must touch. That's all. She did one, you go on. Monday, and one day, then you tell him about the split two says, which one? Center. After that, people check out. When they check out, they call me. I say, yes, it's true. Yes, she started. Since she can't really know. How old is she? 14. Seriously? I said, oh, yeah, she's 18. So, when I say, most of all, one person, it will have to so now, no one knew law. I never knew. For 1 hour, 16 and it's evil. But people do not expect her to be alive. She's still a small brother who went into the we saw her getting the second car. We left her there, she got into the car. You understand? So, we go to the medical report, to the doctor. We go to home, we take in a report from the center. I sent her to the investigation. I don't want to send her. They call, the people to the living. They don't call me, but I was talking about her.
Having rest press at 2,800 is almost like less than half and the price of rice. Then, so you can in no way compare kind of price being dropped with right price. Do I need to have a candle in my house for I can be fed? No, but no room now in this country, right, that will survive in the absence of rice. Okay. So that analysis for you to have people who will come back and say, oh yeah, you have former president did the same with the other commodity. But and are those commodities, if you are to know the uses and the effect on this citizen, you cannot equally compare them.
What could you say to President Buhari with all of these measures put in place? What could you say to the president?
Yeah, and what we need is to see that because we don't want it to be done just for a short period of time, right? And
I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool.
Inteo Pleasant, good evening from Liberia.
I cannot go to school, cause no more money.
is September 11, 2025, and my name is William McGill. This is how I would like to welcome you to the round table on today's presentation of the program. We also been joined by Mr. Samuel Abu, and we have some fascinating discussions about issues concerning our country, Liberia. And we interest you to know that we're going to be talking more on these issues. So we'd like to say welcome to the program, welcome to today's edition of the round table, and let me welcome Mr. Abu and say good evening from Liberia and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Bill. How are you? I hope you had a very good day in Monrovia. I heard it's been raining in Monrovia almost the entire day. Yeah, well, sometimes the rain is good also to make our plants grow and to stop people from being in the street doing nothing, So, the rain is good. So most of the times I hear Liberian people say today we had a bad weather. How can rain be a bad weather when it is the one that grows the plants that provide the food for us to eat? So rain is normally not a bad weather. Sometimes just a little one, you can say unfavorable weather because it's not favorable to you, but it's not a bad weather. It could be unfavorable. My name is Samuel Abu. I'm going to be here tonight with Bill, and we'll be bringing you Waves the round table of Waves TV. So please stay tuned and comment, share, like, and share with your friends. Come join us. You can help us in the conversation by just the number is on the board. You can call those numbers, and we can be glad to have you join us so that we can all discuss these issues. Bill, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so basically today we will look at the trending situation there from the Ministry of Youth and Sport, where the Deputy Minister, Bill McGill, has been allegedly involved into a rape situation with one of the security's daughter. Where she's a 14-year-old girl, and according to her father, she's been raped by Deputy Minister Bill. I listened to this conversation with, Verity Online. Also, listened to his conversation with Spoon as well, and we're going to talk about that. We will also talk about, concerns coming in from citizens across Liberia for the reduction of prices, especially for rice, by President Joseph Boakai. We have been able to reach out to Kakata and talk to, these people there from that part of Liberia, where they give us their own views on how they felt, most of which were something that, most of them praised and hailed the new price given by the government and the reduction in the price of rice. We also look at the alleged information, the rumors about an outbreak, Ebola outbreak. We all know why Ebola did in 2014. I can still remember, but then I just migrated to Calcutta for schooling. We all know how chaotic it was. The sad part about it was I was living not too far from where they buried most of these people. We know how the situation was at the time. So we will talk about that and what have Enfield says about this romance as well. So those are our discussion points, and we also listen to Mr. Abu to talk more about these things because he's somebody who understands most of these situations as well. And yeah, that is it, Mr. Abu.
Okay, so those are all interesting topics to be discussing today, especially talking about this, the official one, which is the release from the Ministry of Youth and Sport about an allegation of sexual abuse by a minister, a deputy minister who is in government, and I like the press release. It was too detailed from the government, but whatever happened is that I think the person who wrote the press release was not conversant about reporting abuses, especially of minors. What I see in this release here is that they did name the father of the victim, which they were not supposed to name in that release, because if that father had only one daughter, that everybody who knows him would know exactly which of the daughter it has happened to, and the person who is the victim is going to be traumatized by that. So I hope the Ministry of Gender and the police will take a conversation note on that to make sure that the next time they are writing these kind of releases, you have to be very, very, very careful and not to come up with names, especially when the situation involves a minor. We take note on that, because once they name the father and give his position, that the title he's holding at the ministry, I mean, that really would be able to easily, generally identify the victim. Because if he had only one daughter, everybody would know it is this daughter he has happened to. So they were to also, in as much as they did not want to name the victim, they were not to even name anybody connected to him. However, we can go over to look at the situation. We understand that the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator, Mr. Brian McGill, he used to be a journalist. He used to work along Radio Monrovia. I think he used to work along with either the equipment team or what at Radio Monrovia, which was owned by Mr. Charles Netter way back in the 90s. Later, he's also always been involved in sports. He played football before, I don't know at what level, I think the first division level. Now, today, he is at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, handling the deputy minister level of youth development. I hope it's going on. So instead of developing the youth, what is he doing? Damaging the youth, Mr. McGill. You are damaging the youth with those allegations, okay? So let's go into it. The father has been on Spoon Talk. He has spoken on other media. I wasn't able to really monitor the entire show. I tried talking to the father. He said, "Oh, I have been busy talking to so many people today, and now I'm tired. I'm tired of reporting." But if you would just give me the chance, let me just read this press release that they came out from the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. We're also on the screen.
Yeah, they said the Ministry of Youth and Sports has been officially informed by the Liberian National Police, LNP, of a serious allegation of sexual misconduct involving a minor against Honorable J. Brian McGill, Deputy Minister of Youth for Youth Development, a claim that Minister McGill has denied. The matter reported to the police by the alleged victim's father, I'm not going to name it, has understandably raised grave concerns. The ministry acknowledged that both the deputy minister and the alleged victim's father are employees of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We take these allegations with the most seriousness as they center on the fundamental principles of justice, integrity, and the safety of our citizens, particularly young people. The ministry will remain in close communication with the Liberian National Police as their investigation unfolds and reaffirms its full commitment to cooperating with law enforcement to ensure a thorough, impartial, and transparent process. To ensure the investigation proceeds without any perception of influence, the ministry has accepted and is forwarding to the Office of the President, Honorable J. Brian McGill's request for a leave of absence effective immediately until the matter is resolved. The ministry reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the law, safeguarding the integrity of of public service officers, and protecting the well-being of all individuals, especially the youth we serve. We urge the public and the media to contact the Liberian National Police for any further information. That's very good. I know the minister at the Ministry of Youth and Sports is a lawyer, so he was really conversant in coining the words of this press release. However, there was an error of the naming of the father, even though because the perpetrator could be named, but the victim identity should have always remained that. So in that case, I can say, Kubangalo, you didn't act like a good lawyer, or you're not a human rights lawyer, so you didn't write it that way. So looking into this now, we say that Mr. McGee has been accused. Bill, did the father did they tell you where this situation happened? Hello? Okay, they didn't say where it happened, but where did it happen?
When I jump into the conversation, I think I slipped off that one because I think he was already explaining per what the minister said and who are those that have gotten involved into the situation. So I didn't had the entire information as to where it happened. I even listened to where he said there was money involved, where I think Minister Bryant McGill have asked to give $1,000, to the little girl. And yeah, but after the show, because I kept calling, but I got to understand that he was already on another platform. And after the show, I spoke with him. He said I can get to him tomorrow. He will be available because I think he's currently on safekeeping. I don't know, but someone is saying there's no sign, and I think the sign is okay. So I don't know whatever device you're watching from. I think our sign is okay. Yeah. Well, so
the person can refresh their device.
Yeah, our sign is okay. Yeah. So that was what I heard, but there was no clear understanding from him as to yet. Maybe tomorrow, if I have a full conversation, which of course I'll be able to understand, as to where this incident took place, is something that we still need to flag. I think if we still have opportunity to talk to him on the show, we can make it possible, in as much as he's not available to talk to us tonight because he said he's so tired. He been speaking to one news outlet from another to another, and in fact he was kept on a longer conversation with one of the talk shows, so he couldn't come on to talk about the situation now because he's in safekeeping. Situation like this, sometimes you get hunted, and yeah, even the girl is also somewhere in safekeeping.
Yeah, that could be the best thing to have done, to remove a girl, to remove the victim to an undisclosed location, and also maybe to be turned over to social services agency or a group to be able to take care of her. We were not able to actually talk to the father immediately because he said he has been on other shows today and he was tired and he wanted to sleep. However, as a journalist, I still try to pick some things from his mouth, and he did tell me that this thing occurred on the 7th of August. Today is the 11th of September. And now it is more than 1 month since this thing happened. So it means that this thing, the investigation has been going on, and they've been keeping it and keeping it and keeping it. And I can assure you, I think it was like maybe journalists have picked up this news and they try to press the Ministry of Youth and Sport about it. So why is he just standing in resignation at this time? Okay, we understand that he was appointed through the green letter, so therefore it's a presidential appointment. However, this new one that they are giving him to take a leave of absence shouldn't be something of his making and his request. The ministry, the police could have even arrested him. Police there is no law that says that the police cannot arrest a minister. The police could have arrested him if they are doing a thorough investigation. It cannot be something that he's going to the office and coming back. Once this case has been reported to the police, I think the police could have easily effected an arrest of Mr. McGill or Mr. Bryant, so that he will be there. Why do they have to arrest Mr. Joe, who is down there when he's accused of sexual abuse, or when he's accused of sexual harassment or rape and other things? Why would they arrest them immediately and bring them to the police? And why are they having Mr. Bryan going to his house and coming so that he can have enough time to either cover the case?
I think there's a lot needs to be understand about this situation. What did the father of this victim choose to keep the situation up to today's date that it blew up in the media? I think there was some other situation that played through that he needs to explain why having, like you said, the ministry didn't come out, in time. And like the father said, he reached out to Minister Cole Bangalu and told him about the situation. He didn't mention when he was asked, why he took this long since the 7th of August. He said, but he reached out to Minister Cole Bangalu. So I also think that the ministry is trying to get involved to be able to keep this situation as calm and be able to handle it like family matter, which of course rape is not a family thing. But he said the minister told him it was a bad thing, and like he said, the situation was at the police station. So the minister said it was a bad thing. Whatsoever the police says, he should be able to get the police involved, the ministry involved. That is the minister, proper Minister Bangalu involved. And then all of a sudden now we see the situation blew up today. Every news outlet is carrying, the news and everything. I don't know what's the reason. Yeah, go ahead.
This is what happens in a country like Liberia. Why? Is it because he is a deputy minister? If you do something like that, that's almost close to a felony. A rape will be involved. I know the victim is a minor, as I understand, 13 or 14 years old. That is a minor, and he as an old man doing that kind of thing. I don't know why people will think that they will have to inform the president before police can arrest him. No, that is a felony. Why? Let McGill be behind the bars going through investigation, and when he doesn't go to job 4 or 5 days or 6 days in a row without an excuse, a good excuse, then the minister can report that to the president and say, this is the reason. But I don't see any reason. I think McGill should have been in jail by now while the investigation is going on. But in Liberia, we'll always take the people, those that we call big people. We think that it is the president that decided fifth. But they abuse other people. And I can tell you, Councillor or Attorney, I don't know his title, Minister Cole Bangalu, I think that's the most appropriate title I would give him that I know. Minister Cole Bangalu, maybe he did not. I know the perpetrators, the victim's father, because he works in the ministry. So he tried to find a way to get to the minister, and maybe they have been trying to keep this whole case undercover, thinking that they would not have the public to know about it. And whatever they would have done, because they know that maybe the man finally reached to the police and he reported his case, and maybe while they were contacted by the police, they had to call Mr. McGill and say, well, we can no longer cover this case, we can no longer handle it here. But Mr. Cole Bangalu knows that this is not a case that could be discussed even at the ministry. And I'm looking at the press release here. The press release did not give any assurance of protection of the victim's father, which he should have done because he works at the ministry directly under Mr. Cole Bangalu. Mr. Cole Bangalu should have placed in this release that assuring the victim's father that, well, this in no way has any means, because he's a minister, that will have to do with jeopardizing his job as a deputy security. Give him also an excuse which should be genuine to allow him to cooperate with the police in order to pursue his case. But for Minister Bryan, he should have been behind the bar at this time. Definitely. So, Minister Kobangalo, you did not do very well. Your press release is out of space, naming the victim's father as a member of your staff. Okay, you should have said that without naming him and assure him that in as much as this is against a minister, where you are not going to be afraid of him, that he shouldn't be afraid of other ministers, that he should be very vocal, he should cooperate with the police, and give him some days off to be able to run after this case here. You see? So what is happening now at the National Police? I think they have women and gender office at the Ministry of Police, at the police office, right? Do they? They do have. Yes, they do have. Yeah, they do have something there, women and something unit at the police station.
They got women and children, social protection.
Okay, that's the group that should have immediately decided to arrest Mr. Bryan. I don't see no reason. We have gone 1 month, and if it were even reported the first day, the first 2 days, McKay was not supposed to be going back to that office. He should have been behind bars. Why do they do that to Mr. Safar or to Mr. Johnson or to Omer Deyuga down there when he abuses a little girl? A rape allegation is brought against him. He's definitely going to be arrested the very moment that police is informed. Now they allow the ministry to say, "Oh, you're living. It happened at our ministry. We have it." No, the police should be able to independently operate. They will give you the respect to come and tell you. All they have to do is they will even, if they are going to arrest Mr. McGill while he was in his office, then they can ask you that we have this. But this is not the case that Kobangalo should have been even involved in any negotiation.
I think certain cases in this, not just certain cases in the country, but I think, every crime against anybody or against the country should be treated fairly. And I think we shouldn't start to take side as people who need a fair society, especially for a country like Liberia. And things that when it starts to happen, it tells us that justice is not there for the little man, it's not there for the poor. Because of recent, just 2 days ago, we also saw in the news of a rape case in, I think it was Grange there or Riverses, one of these counties. And immediately those guys were arrested and turned over for investigation. Just at the time the situation happened. You have a situation that happened a month ago, and let's say a month ago, which was from the 7th of August to the 7th of September, making it 1 month, 1 month, 4 days. Now you having the situation skyrocketing before the Ministry of Youth and Sports is coming out to say a word about the situation. And I think it's not fair enough from the Ministry of Youth and Sport in a case where they are there to show up for young people in Liberia. They are a ministry that should be crafting things meaningful for young people in society, in the Liberian society. And you have a situation from a deputy minister, not just a situation, but a rape case that we all take very seriously, because there's no amount of reason should anyone be given the right to abuse a female, neither a male, and a deputy minister allegedly involved in such an act shows how bad it is. And I think the Ministry of Youth and Sport should have been very swift, should have been very proactive, and should have been fast in making sure that this minister face the full weight of the law and prove himself not guilty like he said. is a situation that he said, he's not the one, he didn't do such a thing and whatever. But again, the case is before the police. Let this man go stand and tell the court or tell the police that this is what has happened and I'm not the one who did this. This is something that is like, prove yourself, prove yourself wrong or prove yourself right. Whatever way you can do it the right way. A lot of things be happening in Liberia that,
Yeah, they say here a claim that Minister McGill has denied. It is not a business to put that in the ministry's press release. The ministry is clubbed with the authority to develop sport and take care of the youth. And now the man who is responsible for youth development, he turns out to be accused of youth destruction.
Maybe that one of the development there.
No, that's why that is an allegation of youth destruction, not youth development. Yeah. This 14-year-old. We want the women to come out and talk about this. Let the women talk. Because if we had taken 1 month, 1 day, or a few days before the case comes out, they have been trying to say, oh, let's talk it in-house. Rape case cannot be discussed in-house. If the perpetrator and the victim cannot discuss it and end it right there, you allow it to come out, it's no longer something to be talked in-house. It was in the case to even reach if Minister McGill was arrested in his office, then the minister will know. Why would they say that people cannot go to offices to arrest people? When you reach there, you must let the minister know first. No, when the person committed the crime, the minister did not know about it. Why, when it's time for the police force to use the time, then you say the minister must know first? No. Let him be behind the bar and inform his minister. There's this allegation against me. Despite the allegation that it happened in the office. In the office. Abuse of office. Abuse of power. Putting money up to the little girl. All of the parents. Let's talk this case in-house. I know Brian very well, McGill very well. I don't know him of this. But he's a human being. I can't put my head, like the Liberian says, on a chopping board for him. And last time I saw him was almost about 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if he has changed. He used to be a good man. He used to be a good guy.
Over time.
But people do change over time. This is in no means saying that he cannot do this. This is an allegation. And in Liberia, in the face of the law, with an allegation of rape, child molestation, child abuse, especially people, that little girl looks at Brian as a fatherly figure, as an elderly figure. Brian may be equal to the father of that perpetrator. They may be in the same age range. So the girl looks at him as a father figure. In Liberia these days, they call you uncle, uncle, uncle. I don't know whether it is UNCLE or UNCOR. UNCLE is the legal one. UNCOR, it means that they do have ulterior motives. My uncle. She comes to the office. He knows that is his friend's daughter, or that is his one of the workers' daughters. The little one gets closer to him, calling him uncle. And all of a sudden, as they would normally say in Liberia, the devil fooled him. It may not be true, but sometimes in Liberia we say where there is smoke, there is fire. He may have made moves. Nothing would have happened. But all in all, it can be characterized into abuse and harassment with intent to destroy this little one. We have to be very careful. I always try to talk to the police. This would have been an investigation open. When this investigation is open, this is not something to say you have to write to the minister to report the deputy minister. No. You have him arrested. And if he doesn't go to work for 1 week, 2 weeks, the minister tries to call him, he can't get him. He will send message and say he's in the police custody. Then if the minister cares for him, he will come over to know what happened or the gravity of the case. Cole Bangalo, minister, is a lawyer. He knows that he cannot interfere into this case, which he has already done by this press release. That means he has facilitated an easy run out for the deputy minister. Oh, we have received a statement or a request of leave. What kind of leave? Leave without pay, or to be investigated for alleged child molestation, child abuse, and allow him to only have a leave? That'll be without pay. Yeah? The president has said he will not tolerate abuse against our young people because he is trying to build a legacy that these young people, especially at that age, can copy to make Liberia a better country. Because the ones that are above that age, many of them have already tasted power. And they didn't taste it well. They tasted it the wrong way. To the point that they think that they can always be president. They can be ministers. You know. But these young ones, below 15, we need to protect them. That's a grave allegation. And I hope Mr. McGill will be able to go through it. I have it in my prayers. He's my friend. But at the same time, I still believe that that allegation is a grave one, and the police will make sure that they investigate to the fullest without prejudice. Without prejudice, I repeat, so that that little one will have justice. I call on Liberian women who get so involved in politics. Many of them talk from the side of their mouth, meaning something different. Only when it is in their favor is when they come up. Not in their favor, they don't say it. But I call on the Ministry of Gender. I call on the youth departments, the various student groups, women groups, the Female Journalists Association. You need to come out and talk on these things. So I hope we will continue with this case. Next week, we'll try to have the father himself here. I'm not going to have him. I will have him on a telephone. I'm not going to bring his face here before people know him and try to connect him to his daughter. Because both the identity of the father and the mother need to be protected.
Mr. Abu, when I listened to his conversation, he said the girl already started asking, him. People have told her that they have seen her picture. Most of the guys have already started posting her picture on the social media. So she was asking, people say they see my picture online. People posting me that he was the one who told us, yes, they posting your picture, but they blur your face. So, in as much as they blow her face, people still who know her still able to recognize her as a person and say, "Oh, XYZ daughter." Yeah, who they say, you know, the minister is, allegedly raped. So they've been able to tell her. So I think again, if we have this kind of situation, it's important. It's okay enough that we keep these people out of social media, out of the public, in order to do away with the kind of trauma they will go through, in whatever situation they will be going through during that period of time, because it could also lead to somebody committing suicide. Imagine you not
Very,
living.
very, very seriously. And that's the same thing Councillor Gonglo talked about a few days about mercenary journalism. And we cannot really control the social media, because most of the people who come in on social media, they deal with something. I think I called a phrase the other day, which we call unconscious bias, where people are doing this thing, they think if you do it to make them famous, to make them this, but they do not know, they do not understand how much stigmatization they have caused on this little one, how much stigmatization they have caused on this family, you know. Because way back, I think if those who went to journalism in the old journalism school, the first day they would tell you, oh, when a dog bites a man, it is not news, but when a man bites a dog, it is news.
It's
Because men are supposed to be biting a dog, but the dog's best defense for itself is to bite a man. But yes, sometimes dog biting a man can also be news. When a dog bites the president, in the main place, the president comes out, that dog comes from nowhere, and you go bite the president. That news right there, the dog makes news. So it's not all the time. So when we're looking at the age of journalism, we should start looking at unconscious biasness, where people do things, sometimes they don't even think twice, you know. So people who go on social media, they forgot the stigmatization that they put in on that little girl. People are mostly identified not just by name, but by their physical identity. When they are when you put a name down, you say John Brown. They have thousands of John Browns. When you say Mary Doe, you have thousands of Mary Does. So all of them cannot be identified, you know. But when you put that face on, there is a dress there that she has on, or a blouse, you know, an attire that people have identified her with in her community. That once they see it, no matter how much black you black the face, they will still know she's the one, you know. So putting these things on social media, sometimes we just call on Liberian people to be very conscious, you know, because once you are unconsciously biased, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem.
Nowadays, to restrict the media, especially with a part of social media, is very, very tough, because a lot of people will just wake up. Anyone can wake up today and say, I got this TV, I get this TV, I get this online platform, and just post whatever they want to post with no regulations from, you know, whatever institution that is responsible. So again, uh, like you said, we need to be conscious as to how we are doing things with news situation, and be able to understand that in a certain situation we don't need to go this route in order to keep this individual safe. But again, people post because they want reaction. People read anyhow and post anyhow because they need the reaction coming to their page without understanding the do's and don'ts of journalism. So it make it a bit tougher enough for us to be able to regulate the profession, and to be able to tell people as to how to go about reporting, how to go about saying these things. But we hope and pray that the the government, not the government instead, but the Ministry of Youth and Sport, we hope and pray that the uh, Ministry of Gender should get fully involved, because I think it's one ministry that should be fully involved in these kind of situations. We hope and pray that the police be able to, investigate this situation independently without any interference of, top government officials and making sure that this poor man's daughter, whatever situation that's been alleged on Minister Bryant McGill, if not, he's not guilty, let him tell us. If he's guilty, let him also tell us, and let whoever involved that needs justice have the full justice they need.
Yes, my problem is I have no malice against Minister Bryant. What I detest is what the allegation is against, which is the allegation of rape, the allegation of sexual misconduct, the allegation of sexual abuse on a minor. That is what I don't like, and that is what I detest. Bryant still remains my friend. But what he's been accused of needs to be thoroughly investigated. The Female Lawyers Association, the Female Journalists Association, the female whatever, market women, all need to talk, because those are the ways that we have used in Liberia to identify women. They form their own groups separate. Every political party has their women wing. The journalists have their women wing. They have female lawyers, they have their women wing. The legislature, they have the female legislators caucus. So they need to come up and talk. There's a little one. We protect them. All those uncle. We have to be careful.
Let's go to the next. The uncle got a problem.
The uncle has a problem. It does. In Liberia especially. I was there recently. But it's just some name that we use. We are not directly related. In America, when a child comes to the house, to your home to visit, when an adult comes to your house to visit, then you introduce that adult to your children. You say, that's your uncle right there. You know what they're going to do? If they know their grandmother's name, they will ask you, oh, is that grandmother's other son? Or is that grandfather's other son? Then they will ask you the question, how come his name is different and your name is different? But in Liberia, they don't ask those questions, So as long as it is my friend, we've been friends for a long time, or they see him coming to my house as my friend, instead of them asking him for his real name, how he wants to be called, they would prefer to just call him uncle. So this is not good. Let's start to identify, even though that is our culture, we still are going through a transformation. And if we do go through some of these transformations, our system will start becoming better and better by day.
Okay. Let me just pose some of the concerns, then we can flip to our next discussion point on the August Bibb Davis Black Queen says, with all the attitude of women around him, he never saw any of them. I'm surprised. It's just an allegation for now. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean, she knows he's a handsome guy. Many people go around him, so therefore he didn't see any of them. He takes a 14-year-old.
Yeah, 14,
what is the
14.
next one?
The next person, I think they was replying to Julie P. Walla says, a criminal will always be a criminal, no matter what.
Wow.
Yeah, so far so good. That's the two reaction we've gotten from the comment section. So
so what is the next topic we need to talk about? This what did you say was it?
The outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic
they reported outbreak of Ebola.
Yeah, in the DRC, and we also have rumors that someone, one Turkish personnel, a rumor, which is not something that was confirmed by Enfield. They said it was a lie that one person from Turkish died in Liberia from the Ebola virus, and which Enfield did a release. I don't know if you saw the release, but I have the release in my possession.
Yeah, you can read the release. Let me hear it, because what I heard about that is that the Turkish national came to Liberia, got sick, and eventually died from the sickness. And many people presume that it was Ebola, but MPhil that is authorized to do the investigation in terms of laboratory and other things, said yes, they agree that the man died, but he did not die of Ebola. So we shouldn't panic. Is that what the release says?
Yeah.
No. So we want to say where, according to MPhil, there is no semblance of Ebola related to the death of that person. Because there may be other cases that are coming that may eventually be Ebola. You remember when Ebola came the first time, when it came to Lofa County, the people from Lofa County came all the way down. And people said, no, it's not Ebola. But they forgot to know that it has already been passed on other people. When people started dying like ants, then before we became very serious about it, at that time, thousands have already died. But in the meantime, since we still trust the MPhil, let's listen to their release so we can get what they did.
Yeah. So I should go ahead with the release, right? This is the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, MPhil, which is to inform the public that the MPhil regularly and routinely conducts surveillance and laboratory tests for viral heterogeneous fever pathogens, VHF, which includes Ebola virus and Marburg virus. To date, which was yesterday, the 10th of September 2025, at 9 o'clock GMT, all specimens received and tested by the molecule PCR mentor at the National Reference Laboratory of MPhil have demonstrated negative for Ebola and Marburg. The negative test result thereby rule out any of the indicated VHF infections in said biological specimens. In this regard, the public is hereby informed that the MPhil cannot confirm any suspected VHF case in Liberia as of today, 10th of September 2025 at 21:50 GMT. Viral homage fevers are caused by many different viruses that are found in nature, in animals, and the MPhil is vigilant. The MPhil acknowledge the general public and scientific community to remain calm and not to panic. Further, MPhil advised the public to continue observing all public health measures put in place by MPhil as the nation's disease surveillance system continues to work to keep the country safe of diseases. Meanwhile, the press and the general public are highly encouraged to directly contact the National Public Health Institute of Liberia for verification of any information as the MPhil performs its statutory duties of the nation's response entity against public health threats, currently responding to the concurrent outbreak of monkeypox, Lassa, and measles. To report suspected cases, please call the hotline 4455. And it was signed by the Director General, Dugbe Chris Nyan.
Chris Nyan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
it's quite explanatory. They did what they're supposed to do. The regular protocol is when there is any suspicion of some viral disease or something like that, they have to make sure they take the specimen to the lab. They have a well-furnished and internationally recognized laboratory which they take it to and they do their lab. They say where the person, yes, they agree the person died. But the person did not die of Ebola. That's what they are saying. They did not rule out whether there is Ebola. But they, however, decided to request Liberians that if they see any unusual behavior or disease or sickness in people, let them call the number. MFA will immediately go there and see whether they can take them to the hospital. Because we know that in Liberia, sometimes people get sick. We stay here in Liberia, in America. People say, oh, I'm sick. I got typhoid fever. When you ask them, who told you you had typhoid fever? Oh, I went to the clinic and they told me that. But did they do any laboratory test? No, they just told me. Simply because you have a symptom that would eventually be typhoid fever. But there are many symptoms that come. Many of the illnesses may have the same symptoms. Okay, fever, headache, morning light, this and that. All of these common, but many people do not know. Everybody becomes a typhoid. So can we say that typhoid is also an epidemic in Liberia? Typhoid? Because every sickness, every illness that someone has is typhoid. But they forgot to know that we got mosquitoes all over. People are building their houses in swamps. And today, what happened? For the last 2 days, it's been raining in Monrovia. People get very cold.
Yeah,
sometimes they have a lot of areas getting flooded, a lot of mosquitoes come about. People go to bed, the mosquitoes are not there. The electricity is not very constant in certain places. Not that it's not there, electricity is there, but many people cannot afford the money to put into their meter, and they sleep in the darkness. The mosquito takes advantage. Now, if the mosquito bites you over the time, and you are not able to start some medication or some regimen, at this time you will get malaria. Maybe it will be malaria. And then another thing that is happening in most people in Liberia is that when they report of this malaria, the doctor decides to put them on some medication regimen. Take this for 5 days or 7 days. By the time they take it for 2 days, they're no longer feeling the fever, they're no longer having a symptom, or the symptom has reduced, then they stop taking the medication. When the symptom reduces, it doesn't mean that the disease or the fever is completely finished, or whatever the symptom is finished. The symptom has just reduced. Continue until your 7 days so that you can kill that disease completely, or that virus completely out of your body. But by the time they take it 2 days, they start feeling well. Then they go back and start drinking their stout and Guinness and King juice and all the kind of thing. They go back to it. So then the virus or the disease wakes up again. After 1 week or 2 weeks, it comes back into them. That's the time you see the women who start I hope something happened to me. Then that's when it becomes typhoid. Then they go to the hospital. They come back and call their brother typhoid, call the other brother typhoid, call the other brother, and all report typhoid. When you send money, right after they receive the money for the treatment, the typhoid is gone, But we just want to warn the people. If you go to the hospital, the doctor tells you take this medication for 7 days. Please take it for 7 days, no matter what happens, whether you like the medicine or not, because the medicine is there to heal you. But if they say for 7 days, you take it for 3 days, you stop, it has just suppressed that virus. And the virus will wake up again after some time because you didn't kill it completely. So for the meantime, let us agree that there is no semblance of Ebola in Liberia according to MPhil. There is no semblance. It may not be that somebody else will not be tested tomorrow. They say the person has Ebola and you say MPhil lie. No, MPhil test was specifically on that person who died, that people were suspecting that it was Ebola. That was that particular person, not a general one. Okay?
Yeah.
So the last time they reduced the prices of...
So far, so good. That is...
They reduced the prices of some commodities, right? And I understand, and I think you went somewhere, you try to do a vox pops of what is happening, how people feel about it. Do you have some footages, some videos on that? Let's hear what happened. What did they say?
Okay, let me play this one. Okay, play this. Then see if I can add the next one.
Rest press at 2,800 is almost less than half and the price of rice. Then, so you can in no way compare kind of price being dropped with right price. Do I need to have candle in my house for I can be fed? No, but no room now in this country, right, that will survive in the absence of rice. Okay. So that analysis for you to have people who will come back and say, oh yeah, you have former president and did the same with the other commodity, but and are those commodities, if you are to know the uses and the effect on this citizen, you cannot equally compare them.
What could you say to President Buhari with all of these measures put in place? What can you say to the president?
Yeah, and what we need is to see that because we don't want it to be done just for a short period of time, right? And this should be a long time, in fact, a lifetime project, right? And so like I also understood where then he is bringing the idea of his government seeing the need as to how you can have farmers in Labrador investing in rice. These are good things, right? These are good things that I would need to hear. So having the rice price drop to 2,800, we embrace that, but we say we would like for that to not just be for a while.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing.
What do you think about the government reduction in price of rice? Rice is $18 in the price of rice. What do you think about For me, I would take the So what do you think about the discussion? You know, France, air, and power by the government. We have this one. What are the government, right? I'll vote for the government. Same thing with government, right? More than all of them. The government working. Government working. For people, I don't know anybody when you live right in when it's wrong, I will tell you. So send it to traffic press, not like yeah, about red what? So what did you get to tell him about? For me, the way I got to tell him about it, one egg is $50. By the time the government didn't sell all the foreign person, what did you get to tell him about it? And what did you do with the current egg price? So I didn't get it. I think we didn't get it from there.
Yes, the people in Kakata there talking about how excited they are about the reduction in the price of rice, which is more or less a critical commodity in Liberia. That is good. You know, in these places, most of the time when the government is not paying much attention to the importers that they give license to or they give authority to import some of these, the importers will always come because they want to maximize the profit, and the profit, with maximization of the profit, goes directly to the people, the consumers. Let's say, for example, they buy the rice from Thailand for $10, and they will come to Monrovia. When it comes to Monrovia, they say they pay the fleet of $3. Then at $7, they're going to add it to that $10. Then they say. Then after that, it can where they're going to store it. They say the storage fee will be $2. Then it becomes $12. In the end, they want government to. If government allows them to do it, then they will sell a bag of rice for $15 when actually they did not pay. So the rest of the thing is that I like the way President Boakai came off recently. Most of this amount are being paid from the consumers. He tried to cut all of them up. So right now, most of them are selling at a bare price of the item and actually making minimum profit. That is to say that government is trying to waive some of its taxes to allow them to have it to the people. Let's say, for example, let's leave the rice alone. Let's come to the gas. Let's come to the gasoline. The gasoline, why were the people paying 35 cents? 35 cents they were making the consumers pay, they say, for storage fee. And many other costs that they were adding to it. So what did President Boakai say? President Boakai said that what he said is that we are going to cut off from, you can't take 35 cents, take 10 cents. It's still not going to change your profit margin. It cannot change the actual profit margin. So President Boakai has reduced it to 10 cents now instead of 35 cents. So you hear people like how to call the guy, Musa Belete is vexed, but he forgets to know how much he has been eating from the Liberian people over the years. Costing us in 35 cents. Like I saw some release here that came out from Monrovia today. They say the Liberian Petroleum Refining Corporation, LPRC, wishes to inform the public of adjustment to the petroleum pricing structure following recommendations by the Liberian Senate and a subsequent directive from the presidency. They say a public hearing convened by a joint Senate committee comprising the committees on Ways, Means and Finance and also Budget and Public Accounts on state-owned enterprise engaged multiple stakeholders in the downstream petroleum sector, including the managing director of LPRC, to assess the fairness of the existing petroleum pricing structure. The Joint Committee submitted a detailed report to the plenary of the Senate, which reviewed and deliberated on the findings before forwarding recommendations to His Excellency President Joseph Boakai. So it was not just the petroleum importers that forced this down, it's because the Senate committees that are involved, they went to work and they said, why is the petroleum still being sold so high? They called these people and they explained. So they made a recommendation to plenary, the committees made a recommendation to plenary, and the plenary made its own recommendation to the president, which the president approved. So after reviewing the Senate's recommendation, the president issued a directive to management of the FPRC to implement the following adjustments to the petroleum pricing structure. First, he said they must remove the previous financing cost and create a new line item entitled Support to Government Social Programs at 2 cents per gallon. So instead of, since we have been paying 35 cents per gallon to these guys, government is saying that out of the money he has reduced, 2 cents of that must go to government for development because they were putting in a packet. And then they were using it, especially Musa Belete, building bridges and making it look like a good man, not knowing that's the people money you're using, because every gallon of petroleum you bought, whether for what reason, you are still paying 35 cents out of that price of it. Okay, the president also said there should be a new line titled Support to County Development, which will be for 9 cents. So 9 cents, every gallon of gasoline you buy now, 2 cents of that money that you are paying, 2 cents will be allotted for national development, and 9 cents will be allotted for county development. So if once you pay that money, they are going to do the mathematics and take the 9 cents from there and give it for county developments. These are the money that will go into the counties. Okay, so they say combined these two lines equal 11 cents per gallon based on the annual import volume of 154,652,417 gallons, and the adjustment is projected to generate an estimate of $17.01 million, approximately 17 million, in addition to revenue to support social programs and county equipment needs. So These are some of the money that they are going to be developing or putting together to pay towards the caterpillars and the yellow machines that are coming. The county, when you want the caterpillar to be packed in your county, you have to pay some money towards it. So this is the money that is going to come from the sale of gasoline. So they say the president directive reflects two central government priorities: one, preserving low fuel prices for consumers, and two, mobilizing resources to address critical national issues. And that's very good. So therefore, looking at this now, they say the importer's margin will be 14 cents and the distributor margin will be 5 cents and the retailer's margin will be 7 cents per gallon. So all of this, as they came out with it, here is what Mr. Musa Bility says. Mr. Bility coming out to say that they say Musa Bility says the government is taking advantage of ordinary people, yet he himself rented the China Union Storage Facility, LPLC, for 9 years without paying Liberians. Without paying Liberia, it's required 10%. So how are they taking advantage of the consumers when you yourself, you import oil or the fuel, then you are renting somebody's storage tank, which is for China Union, and instead of paying China Union, you're supposed to be paying 10% to government. You did not pay that money. You know, some of these guys go into the house, they just run their mouths, make people feel that they are good people, and they are not. Somebody broke it down here saying the storage facility holds 5,208,000 gallons. And if Musa Bility was supposed to be paying, let's say 35 cents out of that amount of money that he makes, can you imagine how much money he should have been given to government? And he making out of government, making out of Liberian people, getting rich over time. Then they go out and run their mouths at the legislature that they are the one who love Liberians more than the other people. How do you love me when you rob me? Loving and robbing. That's daytime stealing, you know. So we all in all, we say, well, the government has done well to reduce the price of petroleum and things are going to be well with us for some time at this time. While we are going very close to the time, I just want to talk about a little thing about the Ministry of Finance. Says that Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, they launched something they call your Youth Professional Internship Program. Did you hear about that in Monrovia?
Yeah.
Okay.
YPIP.
They launched it on Tuesday. And Minister Gaffman did say that this program will provide practical skills, professional exposure, and deeper understanding of public service, he said. Deputy Minister Administration, if they have this to be launched, this is an internship program. Why can't they turn it over to the to the Civil Service Agency that will be able to recruit the students, you know, send people based on the needs? Because you're not going to have a student who intends to be working, to be an engineer, and you bring them to Ministry of Finance to sit there in the office doing nothing. Because if you say you want to promote professional skills, so if they are going through an agency like Civil Service, they apply. During our times, we used to have something we used to call cadet, you know, which is more or less something like an internship. Now the internship, they say they selected high school graduates and recent high school and recent college graduates. Now, why can't they go to make sure this is only the Ministry of Finance? So are we going to allow it to say Ministry of Transport will have their own internship, Ministry of Local Government will have their own internship, and every ministry will have their own internship? Why can't we also centralize this thing so that the ministry or the Civil Service Agency will be the one to send you? If you say you want to be maybe an engineer, they make sure they are going to send you in an area where engineering is important. You go to Ministry of Public Works, you go to this other place where you are going to be learning on the job, and you become an intern. You do an internship to grow yourself professionally, you know. But then, if you go look among the list, they did not even tell us how many. We did see a picture of them, but we don't know how many of them. and what specifically they are going to do, which departments they are going to refer them. So this is creating people only to go to find, they say, financial management. Are these people are they people in business college? Are they people in medical college? Are they people this? But they are all Liberians, and they are entitled to internship.
I think about that, Mr. Abu. I think most of these guys at those various ministries just want to create ways they can be able to help their own people. When I say this with heart and proof. I know a few of my friends who have taken advantage of government opportunities, and I can say for free they are very qualified enough, but they have had a very sad experience in the fact that you will apply and you see somebody, even the way they speak and everything, you know that you could perform if you are given a chance even more than that person. The person will start to tell whosoever that heads that particular position or that particular area at that time that this person from this area sent me to you, and those people they are telling you that they send them to whosoever person heading that position are people that bigger than them in terms of position in government. So sometimes when we see government trying to put out these things, we feels like you see a lot of young people and I feel very much encouraged to go there because there's something they say uh, recommendation, especially you have to have the necessary recommendation before applying for any government opportunity. It is true that some people are qualified. They do have a once they are really qualified. But again, I can say 70 to 75% of those opportunities are given to people who gets recommended by these various guys that are in government and feels that that's the only way they can be able to help these people. It's not 100% fair enough. We know it's not going to be 100% fair, especially when it has something to do with government, especially government of Liberia. So it's a good initiative, but again, the Ministry of finance should be able to make this fair enough. Give it to a fair institution that will be able to coordinate this process in a fair manner. And every other person that wants to take advantage of this opportunity should be willing to say, okay, there's a fair institution that will vet all of us that are applying for this program on this ministry. So I will be ready to take advantage and go and prove that I'm how you call I'm qualified enough to be given the opportunity to go and learn on the job. If that is done, I can say for free that is a good initiative, but just few steps and few process needs to be put in place by the ministry, by the government, and by whoever that heads such institution.
Yes, I do agree with you. But noting that the Ministry of Finance is the one that distributes the money.
Yeah.
They distribute the money because it can even be in your budget and they tell you the money not available, you're not going to get it because they are the one who distribute it. They prioritize what they want to prioritize. But if they go to work and say, okay, we are launching a youth program to prepare them for to give them practical skills, professional exposure, and deeper understanding of public service, that's a very good phrase to use. But let's understand that sometimes when you're doing this, it shouldn't be on the ministry level. We should be serving all of the ministry. We serve Liberia in general. This must not be a program that is only for Monrovia. Why can't it be the ministry, the civil service agency that will be recruiting these students and send them as cadets or as internship people to different areas? Because even at the University of Liberia or at the various universities, the students in certain areas need some internship Is that part of the program? How do they get their internship? These ministries should be able to assist them. Now, the picture I see there of people who participate in the program, I want to say on what was the yardstick created for them to be selected, okay? And all of these are, maybe students there who are medical students, but because they are the brothers and the relatives and friends of Brother Joe or Sister Day or Sister Josephine, you will easily see them, send them there to go and get into the program when they really don't need to be at the Ministry of Finance, Send them to places, because if the civil service is doing it, they will exactly know where the needs are, and do this, Because if this is going to happen, the Ministry of Finance, if the Ministry of Finance knows that we have 10 students who are cadets at Ministry of Transport or at the Ministry of Commerce, they will easily make sure that they disburse funds for the payment or for the care of these students who are there, and they take their pay on time. You understand that? But now, this one brings me to the Labor Ministry. Did they pay all the students that they employed the last time, they say for vacation job? Or any more trouble came from there?
We didn't receive any report about any situation that escalated from the students not getting their money, and the minister came back and told us that everyone got on the job because they wanted to provide an opportunity that they can be able to have ways to pay their fees. School about to open, school already open, pay their fees and everything. There was no protest of the ministry not paying them their benefits or stepping away. So nothing of such to speak of.
Negative news is the one that makes news in Liberia. Negative news. And this is where sometimes the journalists fail. When it started, there was a big chaos at the Ministry of Labor, people wanting to get on that list. Now, after some time, the journalists should follow up and see how did it go. Where did you send the people? Which agency to who?
That's something we fail to do in this current era of journalism, to do investigative journalism and follow up and end the situation, follow till the situation ends. We don't do it. We always like to break news, and once we break the news, we feel complacent to do a follow up about that news we've broken. I can say for free, this rape case we started on tonight, a lot of the people that broke this news will now come on to continue with this news. Once the year or the man is being, released, or the man was finally booked into the situation, the report on that, that's the end. Some of them will not even follow up. I can tell you a lot of people in this field nowadays don't do follow up, don't do a total investigative journalism, and that is bad, because you can report a situation that everyone is counting on you to do a follow up story, and you can do a follow up story.
Yeah, so it means that we have to go further, and as journalists, to start following the stories. Every story that you open, make sure you take it to the end. If people even forget about it, you can start it all over when everybody has forgotten, and you come out, you are breaking a story that is already in the middle. Because if the Labor Ministry, when it started that day, it was very chaotic at the Labor Ministry. They said they were taking 1,000 people, 1,000 students, and you had almost 5,000 to 10,000 there that morning there to get a name on the list, how the selection was made. So when everything cools down, you as a good journalist is when you move in. How did we handle this matter? The other day, I saw 10,000 people here when you said you wanted 1,000. How it happened? Then you can take that case from right there and solve the problem. They will give you a breakdown of how many people were assigned to what age, what ministry, or what company all responded to it. How much are they going to pay the students at the end of this? Whether they want to continue it next year, whether this will be a continuing program every year. Then like that, you have opened the ears of students. They know now that Ministry of Labor will do it. So by the time we are in, let's say we are in April, then they start doing a recruitment process. So we will not wait until July before they start running and creating a big pandemonium in Monrovia. you know. So we still think it's the same thing I always talk about, unconscious bias. You know, you look at it and you just make up your mind and say, no, that doesn't make news. Oh no, that is not doesn't matter. But it does matter to somebody. It is affecting somebody, you know.
So we already out of time, Mr. Abu. Let's just do a roundup and end it for tonight.
So to round up, I see my man Mansfield Doko is there listening to his brother. Thank you for coming on. And we just want to say that the allegation of rape or sexual abuse levied on our Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports for Youth Development, Brian McGill, we call on the authorities to make sure that they follow the case, and the case should be investigated without prejudice and bias, because we have already seen that the thing did happen, and the first report was since the 7th of August that this incident occurred. They took cognizance of it after the little victims picture was appearing on Facebook, and this case started going. And in the end, the Minister of Youth and Sport, Mr. Kobangalo, instead of allowing the police to do the work, he sat down there and allowed Brian, as a deputy minister, because he's a presidential appointee, to write a letter or requesting a leave of absence. Where did we see that before? That is not a company, you know. He did his thing. Let him be arrested. Let the investigation go on. You know, if he doesn't come to work, then that's stigma on him. But let's also call on these women groups that in Monrovia, especially the Women and Children Unit of the National Police. We have the Ministry of Gender. We have the Female Lawyers Association, Female Journalists Association. This is a little girl, 14 years old, that this has happened to. Follow up and see what happens so she can get some justice. You know, if the allegation on Brian doesn't have confirmation or is not conclusive, then he be released. But at the same time, I know the president will not easily want any of his ministers to have those kind of allegations on them, because it is a distraction to the government. The opposition will talk about it. This becomes a distraction. So therefore, you allow the law to take its course. That's it. And then we want to say those who say they welcome the reduction in the prices of some of the commodities, milk, egg, rice, and gasoline. We believe that you are going to do better. Please try. We did say that people did the first propaganda that came out. They told us that our government has people are hoarding the Liberian dollar, no Liberian dollar on the market. So therefore the rate is going this and this and that. I think the central bank came out with some explanation. And one thing we have to do is to learn to trust our authorities. We are the one who elected them. If we have other people that we believe in, let's elect those people. But in the meantime, these are the people that we have elected. Let's trust them with the information they come. You know, they say you can tell the truth only one time, but the lies will be so many. You know, let's continue to be this. So I like this. The people do say they appreciate the reduction in the prices, and President Boakai, according to a press release, he said that some of the money taken from each gallon of gasoline, some will go towards national priorities and others will go towards the development of the counties. That's a very good thing to say. I hope the Minister of Finance and whatever agency will be able to do the mathematics and divide the money and have that money accounted for appropriately. And beyond that, again, we talk about the Minister of Finance establishing their own way they call cadet or youth empowerment program. Let it go to every other person. Please start it and encourage other ministries to do it. But at the same time, you are the one who divide the money. Make sure if Minister of Transport tells you that they got this number of students, please make that appropriation available to them. If the Minister of Commerce tell you this, you can even confirm it. If it was out of the budget, Well, you have no, if it is out of the budget, you are doing it, that means it's not out of the budget. Please try to look for an allotment for them so that they can also help other students. Employment rate is very high in Liberia. We cannot say that many of the people are not qualified or are not ready. We know that it is the responsibility of the government to create jobs for your people. Then the government and the country will go well. Well, with all that, I want to say thank you so much to you listeners, you viewers, Mansfield Opo, Jerome Willie Jr. We say thank you for listening. Julie Pewala, Geraldine Davis would say thank you for listening and being with us. We look forward to meeting you again next Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time and 10 o'clock Liberian Time. Miguel, thank you so much for being in controls and being a very, very, very integral part of this program, the Ways TV Roundtable. And thank you. We'll see you again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abu, and thanks for always coming on the show. Again, we will come on next week, Tuesday and Thursday as well, to talk about, things that matter the most in our country, Liberia. Like you said, we're on here Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Liberia time, 6 p.m. the Eastern time there in the U.S. Until we talk, we can have a wonderful weekend. And he has been William McGill alongside Mr. Samuel Zell. I'm bidding you a wonderful weekend.
Just before you go, I just want to say a happy belated birthday to our reporter there, Darius.
Yeah, happy belated birthday. Yesterday was Darius' birthday. We like to wish you a happy belated birthday, Darius, and thanks for all of your contribution to this online team. Thank you so much, guys, and thanks for coming on. As always, as we always here to bring you the best.
Politics, culture, nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the Roundtable listen. Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. Join the conversation that matter the most. Live, unfiltered, unapologetic, with local voices and international minds. The Roundtable dive deep into today's toughest questions in society. Politics, culture, nothing is off limits. Your voice, your questions, your platform. Live on Wiz TV, featuring top panelists Mr. Samuel Abu, Mr. Hamed Fofana, Mr. Cyrus Gray, Mr. Jai Blamo, and your host, William McGill. Heated debate, eye-opening truths, and real impact. Tune in to the Roundtable every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Wiz TV Live. The Roundtable, where every voice counts. When the nation speaks, the